So that was the first part. Okay, so what we did in the first part, we basically, in the storyboard, we added a view controller, a table view controller. In the cell, we set the identifier of the cell to cell. We set the class for the table view controller, the custom class to the table view controller that we created, which was context.table view controller. We linked them together. In the table view controller class, we set the sections, number of sections to be 1, the number of rows, and the uncommented, this function, the table for row, cell for row. And what happens is that this will be called number of times based on what you put in this function, the number of rows. So if I put 10 here, and if I run it, instead of 5, you will have actually 10 rows that says hello. All right. But this is not appropriate, first of all, and the cell looks very dumb, you know, with very basics. So what if you want to customize these cells? There are already preset custom cells or preset cell types that you can select from. So if you go to the storyboard, in the storyboard, as you select the cell, you will have here in the property style. What is the style of your cell? And depending on the style, you can display more information. So the custom is that you can customize it the way you want to, but that requires more work. You will have to create a custom class. You will have to link the custom class with the cell, and that requires a lot more work. But you can do the basic. This is what you're seeing is the basic. You can use right details, so the details will appear to the right. You can use left details, so that the details will appear to the left. You can use subtitles, so you will have the title and then you have the subtitle underneath it. You can make your cell bigger. And you can also do an image. The image is not showing, but the image, we will customize the image in a few minutes, all right? So subtitles will show you the title, a subtitle, and then you can specify an image next to it, all right? So now if I go to the code, to the table view controller, I can set also not just the label, I can set also cell dot subtitle or detail text label dot text, and then I can add more. All right. So I said cell details. We need to fix that. Cell detail text label dot text, having fun. And now the title will appear as hello, and then the other title will appear as, the subtitle will appear as having fun. So now if I run this, you will have in your cell on 2 values, not only 1 value. Hello, having fun, hello, having fun, hello, having fun. And because I specified the number of row 10, this will be repeated 10 times. So how do we do that? You go back to the main storyboard, you take the cell, you select the cell, and then you select the style of that cell as subtitle. And in the view controller, the table view controller, you can set the label and the detail label of that cell. Clear? Okay. Again, this application looks dumb because what the heck, everything is saying hello, 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 hello. What if you want to list your favorite food or your favorite contacts? How do we do do that. Again, you could do that two ways. One way, you have an array, and then you can list it from the array, or when you read the data from the database, you store it in an array, then you can read it from the array. So what I'm going to do with you, I'm going to show you how we get the data from an array. All right, Nashi? So how do we do that? We say, hello, we define an array. We say, context, let context equal, and then you can define an array as this. Okay, Omar, comma, comma, let's put 3 names for now, but you can add more. So what are we doing here? I'm defining an array called context, and it has 3 elements in that array. And now, instead of displaying hello, 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 I want to display what's in this array. So how do we do that? You need to do 2 things. First, in the number of rows, now it depends on how many elements you have the array. So if I have 3, the number of rows are 3. If I have 5, the number of rows should be 5. So in here, in the table for rows, what do? We return contacts dot count. So no matter how many elements you have in that array, this is the value that will be returned to you. Okay, that's first thing. The next thing that I need to do is in this cell for row. Instead of hello, I want to get the value from the array. So how do I get the value from the array? I get the value from the array using that index path. Do you remember I said the index path? The index path will give you 2 values, the row and the section. We have 1 section, so I need to get the value, I need to get the row value. And I use the row value as an index to the array. So what do? Instead of this, we say contacts index path dot row. So this will give me the index path value, index value for this will give me the row number. So start with 0. The first time you call this function, it will give you Omar. And because we have a 3, the next time it will give you the next value will be 1, and it will give you the value stored at 1 will be Rashid. The next value that you will be here, it will be 2, and it will give you the value stored in this array, it will be Ahmad. So now if I run this, you'll see that you have 3 values in the table, and then you will have Omar, Rashid, and Ahmad. Is that clear? I'll give you time to do this part. Okay, so what we did is that we got this to work. We got it from the array, but let's do a little bit more with this cell. What can we do with this cell? Right, the names are fine, but the subtitles are not correct. And then maybe we want to add a picture. So let's add the picture first, and then we will do the subtitles after. All right. So how do we display the image? So what you can do in your project, you need to include any images in the assets. So I'm going to use my picture, and I'm going to change it. Instead of screenshot, I'm going to put Ali. And then what do we do with this image? We add it to the asset folder. We add it to the asset folder. Okay. So now what we talked about is that how do we include this picture? So I'm just going to add it to the asset. All right. And so this is the picture that we want to display in the table. All right. So now if we go to the code, the UI table view controller, and the table view controller, this is where we change the cell. So this is where you set the image as well. So if I want to display the image, you can use the cell. First, we need to create the image. So first you say let image equal UI image. And then you can specify the name of the image. So one of them is that it should be with a string to name. No, should, so this one here, image with, I saw that with name. No, name, I think name, yeah. And then you will put the name of the image, which was Ali, all right? So let image equal UI image and the name of the image. Now you can specify the cell image, cell dot image view dot image equal image. So cell image view dot image, the image that we created from the asset. And now if we run it, you got my image as well. Clear? Yes? Let me pause for a minute and give you a chance to do it. Okay, so that's fine. It's okay. But what if we want to have different images for every person? Now, all the images are the same. You're getting my image. What if I want to get different images? What if I want to have different subtitles? What do we do in this case? Do we continue like this? The one way to do it, you create an array for each one of them. So you will create an array for the images. You put the name of the images in the array. You create an array for the subtitles, and then you put the titles in the subarray. But do you think this is a good idea? I'll do it quickly, and then I will fix it. I'll show you why it's not a good idea. So if I put for the images, they're all Ali, but you could have different images if you want. And then for the content, so I'm going to call this is images. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. I'm just showing you this is the wrong way of doing it. And then for the subtitles, we will put here, hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All right, good afternoon, good evening. And now what happens? Just like you did here for the label dot index for this, the contacts, what do you do here? You say for the subtitles, you use the array for the subtitles, which was what? Subtitles. Right? That's what we define the array, subtitles. And for the image, instead of this, you use actually images again that index path dot row. Okay. Now you will have different images, different subtitles, different titles. But again, this is a stupid way of doing it. This is not the proper way of doing it. It works for certain things, but if you have a lot, this is a problem. So you got different values, right? Good afternoon. Afternoon is one word. Good evening, right? And then the images, you can customize the image. How do you customize the image? You customize the images. We just put the different image names here because we have only one image. So we're putting only one image. All right. But this is, what if you have other things? For example, you want more descriptions and you want the address, you want the location, and all of that stuff. When you click on that person, you want to get more detail about that person. So this is a wrong way of doing it. What would be the other way? What have we learned where we can create a group of the information in one data type? What's the name of that? Do you remember structures? What is the purpose of structures? With structures, you can do your own custom data type. So it's not only one value. And you can do what? You can create an array of these structures, and now you can get individual value from these structures. So in the next topic, I'm going to show you, in the next video, I'm going to show you how we use structures with table views, and that should be enough for us when we go to the core data. Is that clear? So let me pause, stop recording, and we'll continue in the next